Yeah, those like, honestly, those first 5 minutes I felt like was so impactful because especially if you teach a class that students can't they don't find as much success. So if you teach a
Hmm.
subject that some kids really struggle with, like math, you're talking about something that everyone can have a piece of the conversation. So whether they watch the news that morning, whether this is the first part
Hmm.
that they, the first time they've heard of it, whether they just heard something on the bus, they can have they can be a part of the conversation and it kind of gets
Yeah.
them invited into your classroom. While if you started with your content, they may not feel as welcomed.
It's a potential for a small win to happen right off the bat
Yes.
and get them in the
Yes.
mindset of, oh, I can do things.
Yes.
If reserving time at the start of your day to allow them to bring the current events that are on their mind, that were being talked about on the bus, that did pop up on TikTok, that they're going, Miss Miglin, what about this or
Yeah.
whatever, where you may be a little off, not necessarily informed on the topic. I think even that conversation,
Yes.
you can learn so much about your kids because it's going to tell you right
Yes.
there what's important and what's not.
Right.
And maybe you open your eyes to something that you need to be paying attention to,
Right.
right? Good or bad, right? And so I think there's a lot of value there. Someone said about first 5 minutes wake up the brain and a great way to build community. Like that is like that's how, and
100%.
that's there's also an opportunity there for the kids to realize that that other classmate that maybe they don't have as much interaction with actually has a similar beliefs or
Yes.
passions that they do or communicates the way they do, and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So I think anytime you just get your kids talking, you know what I mean,
Well,
forming opinions and
yeah.
communicating with each other, regardless of your subject matter, that's powerful.
Well, and I think you have to be real in the moment of like understanding where they're at. There's been times where there was some big issue that happened in the news, like nationally, and I knew every teacher was going to talk about it. And when they walked into my room, I didn't get the sense they wanted to keep talking about it. Whether,
Hmm.
it was whatever it was, there's been a variety of things that have been hot topics. So I think kind of reading the room and not assuming they always want to talk about it. Now, especially
Mm.
if you teach kids that they don't ever really leave elementary and they're in your room all day, I do think it's important to at least bring it up a little bit. But if they don't seem to be interested, I think move on. Don't force it because,
Sure. Yeah.
then it's kind of like it doesn't feel as authentic.
Hmm.
But I think if they kind of come in with some energy and they want to talk about something, give them that space, give them that time to talk about it because your curriculum can wait 10 minutes for them to get that out because they're going to remember that conversation much longer than they'll remember, your lesson.